This time on Woody's Garage we are still farting around. Pew.
Today is like Christmas. I got a box of parts for my friend Bill, who goes by Z50 Nut on Little Honda. He just contacted me and said like, hey, I got these parts. You want to buy them? And so let me show you what I got. Shazam! Abracadabra! Hocus Pocus! Presto Changeo! Simsalabim! Bibbidi Boobidi Boo! Hocus Pocus! Open Sesame! Alakazam! Presto! Okay, let's look at our exhaust first. It looks in relatively good shape. This might be the only problem right here, a little uneven. Maybe there's a little part missing. Maybe not, maybe it's just fine. Now what I have, and left over from the ugly duckling, we have this gorgeous muffler. Yeah, it's seen better days, but and you can't see through it. I don't know if you can anyway. But we'll see if we can put these two together and have an exhaust system. I think we'll try to tap this part in shape. I don't know if this is the in or the out. We'll find out soon. It's not too bad. We'll also see if we can clean it up just a little bit. Any better? Gasoline and acetone. Enough to put me in my grave. Okay, we are on the CMSNL page, and it looks like I am certainly missing some parts. Kind of shows you the direction of the exhaust here. Points down. There's a nice little spacer there, and I think we have this collar, so we kind of need this. We also need a gasket and these sleeves here. I didn't think they had. I don't think I've ever put them on any of the smaller 70s and 50s that I have. But for now, I mean, we can kind of do without. And I'm also noticing that here on the pipe, there looks like there's a little indentation there, so that it can slip in here, I guess, or something. It's a crimp. It looks like a crimp anyway. I went down to the local Harbor Freight, and they don't have very good metric nut and bolt selections, I must say. I got something that was just a selection of standard and imperial and metric, but enough to put this pipe on. Yeah, we're like finger tight, and there's definitely some room in there for that gasket and those sleeves. But I'll tell you, it'd be a lot quieter than it was. Maybe we'll find something to jam in there. That's kind of how it looks so far. I noticed on the frame, which is amazing, is we got that bolt right there to hold the pipe on. Yeah, it looks better than it is. You can definitely see needs that bushing in there. Maybe I have something that'll work really well. I don't know. And we also need to take up the slack there. There's also a piece, I guess it's kind of like a shield. Just pretty much a piece of metal that goes from here to here. I can imagine what they're getting for those on eBay. But not really necessary. You could make one out of aluminum or something like that. Okay, the next item up for consideration is the rear wheel. We got everything but a tire. And I've been looking at them online, and I'm just too cheap to go ahead and buy one, but I probably will. Aesthetically, they look kind of ugly, but structurally, they look really good. I mean, no dents or anything like that. And I've been thinking about, do I paint them now or should I wait? And, you know, eventually, yeah, it's good to paint them. It's good to paint them anyway. Got to get rid of this rust. This rust is bad because these rims, because they're split rims. If you see right there, I mean, I'm holding it really tight. You can see air through there. And water gets in really easy into these rims. And once the water gets in, it ain't coming back out. So it'll stay in there and kind of rust things up. So I think the smartest thing to do is to get the rust and stuff off. I have a hub. These are pretty hard to find, or expensive if you find them. And this one's in really great shape. It'll clean up really nice and work fine. Bearing, I think it feels good. Brake hub. Plenty of meat on the brakes. We even got the lever arm, which is really cool. That seems a little frozen up. We'll probably take this apart. Sometimes these freeze in the inside here in the aluminum. Maybe I'll get a little oil on there right now and let it start seeping in there. And then we got a decent sprocket too. Yeah, that rust is pretty nasty on the inside. We'll get rid of that. Get it nice and flat. Lots of that. Okay, kind of a preliminary once over. Wire brush, wire wheel, etc. Get all the pits off and stuff. You'll notice that some of these circles here are pretty out of round because they started to rust on the edges and kind of, you know, wasted them away. But I got the high spots kind of down. I used a file in some places. That's what it kind of looked like before. We'll get sandpaper on this. And then, yeah, I got a mask on, so I sound weirder than usual. Prime them up. We're going to paint the inside too to prevent it from rusting. Probably just use some cheap black or something like that, so I don't use my good silver paint. Preliminaries on this one didn't seem quite as bad as the other one. The holes are better. It's funny, I actually have another one that I got at a swap meet. It's the same side as this. It's in excellent shape, but I'll probably use this one instead. One thing about this one is I noticed that these are kind of raised, probably because the rust got in there and started bubbling up and warping the rim, puckering it up as it is. Let's see if maybe I can hammer those down a little bit. Probably not the best way to approach it, but yeah, let's look better. Can't really get it on this way, but they're a lot flatter. That's a lot better. Hopefully not cosmetically roached. Yeah, I'd be doing this outside, but it's raining today. Yeah, at this point I'm wondering, like, should I go all the way? I have some primer, I have the paint, but I hate painting indoors, but it's getting cold out anyway, so I guess it's my only choice if I'm going to paint them. So yeah, maybe after lunch. Okay, we're outside today working on these. I sanded them a little bit and cleaned them off with some gasoline to get any grease, oil off them. They look pretty crappy, they really do, but they will serve the purpose, and you may be shocked when they're painted how good they look. I'll probably hit them with some acetone and then get some primer on them, and then the silver paint. But I kind of like to take apart that other back wheel just to have a look at it. Here's the other wheel. It's a front wheel. Got to get the air out of it. Ooh, it's got a cool cap on it. Look. It's made out of metal. Luck on the hub. On this part, just not on the wheel. Come to think of it, I've had some hard times getting these rusted rims apart before they kind of weld themselves together. Well, the impact got all but one. Moved a little bit. It's probably gonna shear off. Whoa. I get it. I finally got it. Ratchet on both sides, clamped in. Like the rims can rust together. Well, I lost on this one. This is the front wheel. I was trying to take it apart to clean up the rims and stuff like that. There's no way this thing's coming apart. It's not budging at all from the bead, which is, you know, it's like 2 inches friggin' long. You got to break the rubber away from. Also, the more I work on it, the more holes start to appear. Along the rim. So, my hopes right now are actually to put it back together. And it was a rolling, usable wheel that held air, so I mean, that's a good thing until it can be replaced. Could actually probably be used for a little while even. So yeah, it's a defeat. Okay, we're kind of playing with paint today. I primered the front side of these. I'll show you that in a minute. They look pretty good. And these are kind of pitted, but I hit the back side with some black. I hit one with gloss black and one with flat black. I don't know, just for the hell of it, just to see how it would kind of take. But it's just to really protect them from rusting. Speaking of rust, we got the seat pan, and I scraped off most of the loose rust. And it's never going to be perfect, but I mean, once you get some paint on there, it's going to stay pretty good. And you know, you're never going to get rid of those pits and stuff like that unless you start to Bondo it or something. So I'm going to put a little primer on it and then a little paint. Nice paint booth, by the way. There are the wheels with the primer. I'm hitting the seat right now with a first coat of flat black, although that's still wet, so it looks shiny. But I have some, I think, some semi-gloss that I'll put over that. Alright, we're still in paint mode this morning. The next thing up is the foot peg holder. There's bolts to the bottom of the engine. And this is the way I got it from my friend Z50 nut. He didn't have any pegs for it, but look what I found in a box. Yeah, I believe these were from my CL90. They were like an extra set of pegs. And I got 3 of them. This one looks pretty mangled, but these would be a pair. And these look just like the ones that the 50 uses, but it's kind of bent up there. This one looks a lot better, not really a match. Yeah, but this thing is a little tortured on the ends here. It's kind of bent, so I'm going to try to hammer it back in shape. And then we'll wire brush. It looks like it was silver. Huh. I think I'm just going to paint it black, though. Hey, you don't see it anyway. I'm just going to, once again, keep things from rusting. Okay, this side I was able to get with the vise, just crush it a little bit. Looks nice and square. This one's a little wankered out more, so we'll see what we can do. I was gonna try doing it with the anvil. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not going very well. Yeah. No, never done this before. Put the anvil in the vise. Why not? Okay. Yahoo! What else is about to fall on my head? Yeah, now we got to get them shifting straight. Not quite sure I'm going to do that. Whoa. This side's a little flimsy. That's a pretty good fit right there. Still a little dog-eared. Ow. Yeah, that looks a little better. Okay. I'm going to wire brush this and into the paint booth with you. A little bit of primer on it. It looks like a brand new part. We're still going to hit it with the black. There it is, a brand new part. Okay, that's dried with the semi-gloss black. I think that looks pretty good. It's not as glossy as a gloss black. I hit the wheels with the wheel paint, and when I shook the can up like really well for like 5 minutes. I guess it was a little cold because I did get some runs and some smeary looking stuff. I thought the runs were worse than they are, but I think I'll sand it again and we'll give another coat. And maybe sometimes what I do is I take the spray paint cans and I put them in some hot water like, you know, I get water up to temp boiling or something like that, and then not totally boiling, but, you know, pretty hot, and then put the can in there so that the paint warms up. Because it's kind of cold in the basement right now. It's probably like 55 or something like that. Then on our seat pan, I only shot these with the semi-gloss. Everything else is kind of a flat or gloss or whatever the hell I use, because those are the only parts that are really going to be seen when you have a seat cover on. I think it came out pretty damn nice. Now I've been thinking about painting these, but I don't know. They aren't painted. I think that's a finish. I don't think that's painted. But I'll probably just end up cleaning them up and using them. You know, when you're putting together a bike like this, it's kind of like, you know, like shiny new parts kind of look weird on something that's a little ratty. And I want to make this, you know, clean, not really ratty, but I'm not quite sure. You can always change too. And then we got the fenders to deal with still. They're in pretty rough shape. They're nothing beautiful, and they never will be. Front one's all banged up and stuff, but fenders nonetheless. And we also have to wait for a rear wheel before we can put that together. I mean a tire, so that we can mount the rear wheel. I want to see if I can get rid of this lip here that looks like it's bent up. Obviously it's bent up. That's what it's supposed to look like. So I'm going to take this drift here and just kind of pound it over, I think. Okay, I had to mismatch them because this one, it's so dog-eared out that it wasn't even worth trying to bend. So, and they're kind of sticking up a little bit. I don't know, maybe with some weight on them they'll flatten out, but good enough for now. It can be refined. Okay, here we are at the bike. We got the foot pegs ready to go. If you look under the engine here, you see, looks a little damp. Wonder if the gasket on this cover is bad. But we got 4 holes for the bolts to screw in here. And those are usually notoriously dirty. So I'm going to take the air gun and blast them out, clean them up. I found the bolts I need with lock washers and everything. Yeah, just like that, we got foot pegs. Yeah, funny thing is, usually you find one of those stripped out on the bottom. These were perfect. I mean, they're in really good shape. The holes I'm talking about that the bolts go in. It's funny though that what I was going to say is that the foot pegs are bolted in, but the engine isn't bolted in. It's just kind of hanging there. Yeah, it came out pretty good. This one you can see the pits. I was trying to hold it so you couldn't see the pits. But yeah, it's funny. These I painted just the way they are, well, in the paint booth thing, and sprayed like this, so the paint kind of fell lightly. And I also heated up the can before I did it.